Right, you lot. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that jazz. First catch-up of the year, isn't it? And I've done a little bit of fishing. I'm going to cover 3 lovely little matches. My last match of 2025 and 2 matches that I fished in 2026. Although, I'm starting to come to the realisation that I'm getting old because it's not nice fishing, is it? It's just not pleasant at all. Going out in this weather, it's flipping freezing. I'd rather stay at home. What's going on? It's changing so much. Is it? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments. Is this just me getting old? But anyway, catch-uppy time. And first one I want to talk about is the annual, what do they call it? The winter pairs at Weston Pools. Phil Coventry runs a Weston Pools pairs match every Christmas sort of time. Something that's popular at loads of venues, isn't it? Up and down the country. Having pairs matches. And me and Matty Dawes managed to win it last year. So we thought we'd have another little go. Brilliant match. I think I'm going to say there were 25 pairs on, maybe 24 pairs. 24 pairs, I'm going to say. Split over 4 lakes. So there was one zone with Belvedere, which is behind us, and Stretton Lake in, and then another zone with Canal and Weir in. And you could place your angler on whichever zone you wanted. And yeah, you cracked on as it was. Matty very kindly let me have Belv and Stretton, which are the less moody lakes, I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Weir and Canal are great. They'll often produce the winner, but there's a few dodgy pegs on them. So he let me go on the safe option on Belv and Stretton behind me. And I drew, for that one, I drew 25 on Belv, which is a really good peg. Back in the day, it used to have a great big bed of lilies in front of you, but they've been removed now. So it's a bit of a different peg. So I was on that one. Matty drew a really weird one. Matty drew 2 on Canal, which is behind us right there, which never, ever goes in. It's a peg that's never really used just because the lake's never really that full. They don't put that many on the lake. But for this one, it gone in, and it was very much an unknown. It was going to be feast or famine, I suppose. So didn't know what to think. But my match, quite simple. I'd drawn 25s at the top end of Elf, up here behind me. It's just getting towards the wider area of the lake, and it's an area of the lake that everything sort of lives in. So you catch some great big skimmers there, lots of big F1s, little F1s, and an odd carp as well. It's a good area for being consistent. And I'd drawn peg 3, which is pretty much right opposite, on 2 previous matches. So I knew exactly the sort of mood it was in. And it's quite surprised me. I don't want to go into detail because I want to save the details for a podcast that we're going to do as well about technical things that happened in December. But Belv at the minute for me is all about pellet fishing. Really like the way we fish for skimmers with pellets, dinky, tappy pellet type fishing. That is by far the way to fish. And the previous 2 matches where I'd drawn 3 in the festival and in an open match a few weeks before, I felt like I was wasting a lot of time doing other things, like trying to fish maggots short, trying to loose feed maggots on a line. And I was catching very little doing that. And by fishing this, if anything, boring. Well, I suppose the sensible word is very patient pellet match. Just putting your trap in, sitting there waiting, you get a bite. And you get a bite from a proper fish, a decent F1, a little F1, or lots of these big skimmers as well. Loads and loads of decent skimmers in there. So for the pairs match, I knew just to do that. Pretty much, don't do anything else. And I fished a pellet line long to my left. It's really, really important on there to find little shallow areas, because over the years there's several aerators. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 aerators that I can think of, and they've moved over the years as well. So it creates lots of lumps and bumps in the lake where the silt's been pushed up and it's solidified a bit. So you've got to find these little shallow areas that come up. Not a lot, come up sort of like 10 inch. If you find them, fish on top of them, for whatever reason, not a clue why it makes such a difference. It used to be the same at Lingmere back in the day, that the shallowest area is always the best for who knows what reason. Better bottom, something. But I found one of these to my left. I put a line to my right where it was deeper. I didn't really catch on that. And I caught really, really well on this left-hand line all day. I could just tick over, catch really steady, catch a little stockies, an odd skimmer, an odd little carp. Really, really nice. I got lucky fishing to the pallet. Sometimes they live to the pallet to my left as well, some big fish. I caught one big one down there, about 8 pound on maggots. You fish the edges a little bit different, so I fed pellets and maggots down there. Caught a big one about 8 pound and 2 little stockies down there, but it was rotating this line on the left with 13 metres just tapping pellets. And then my short line as well that would 100% of the time be maggots. I'd always fish maggots at like top 5, top 6. And for that match, because I knew how moody maggots had been, in that they bring all the silverfish into your peg, I just fished pellets there instead. Like, they do some good pellets here, they do. I think they're Ali Aqua pellets, but they do quite a few sizes now with the fishery pellets. You get micros, which are what, 2 mil, and they do these 3 mil ones as well that are a little bit bigger, and you can actually loose feed them. They're not quite a 4 mil, a little bit smaller, and I've loose fed them short instead of fishing maggots there that kept bringing these roach in. And I actually caught 7 or 8 on that. So I made up with my decision, had a lovely day, ended up with £60, which, that one belv, brilliant. And then Matty had the best day ever. He just dobbed them all day, the weirdest day ever, in that they're all shoaling up on there and being really strange. And he said he could see balls of F1 swimming past him all day. And he's actually, I'm not going to say he's mugged them, but he's just dobbed them from start to finish. And he's had £88. So we actually ended up with Matty winning the match, I was second in the match, and we won our pairs for the second year in a row. So lovely, lovely end to 2025 with that one. Next up, I went to Siberia. That was the next one after that. I filled in, this is the first match of 2026. I owed Sean Little a favour, who was my boss at Matrix. So I filled in for his team on the Tunnel Barn Winter League, and wow, it's this weekend. We're just past it now. You can see behind me, it is absolutely freezing. So I travelled down there. The clock was saying about -6 all the way, which was lovely, got me all keyed. But still, Tunnel Barn is phenomenal. Loads and loads of bites, even when it is rock bottom. It amazed me how good Tunnel was. It really, really was. There was fishing. There were fish to be caught everywhere. There's £20 on every single peg, it seems. There's plenty of fish to be caught at Tunnel at the minute. Mainly because they're all small. They seem like happy feeding fish at the moment at Tunnel in the stamp that's mostly in there. So for that one, I drew 28 extension, which was the only peg on the entire venue without ice. The whole venue's frozen up, proper, with ½ inch of ice on. That was the only peg on the entire venue without any ice on it whatsoever, which, yeah, being fat and old, I was liking that I didn't have to break the ice. But in my experience, it's not the places you want to be, because there's always a reason why there's no ice there. And in this case, there was a few ducks on it that I think had definitely helped, but also the one area of the lake that was catching the wind was where I was, and the wind was whacking through right to left sort of thing, but freezing. It was a northeasterly, absolutely freezing. And put a ripple on the lake as well, which didn't help in front of me. But still, say Tunnel being Tunnel, there's plenty of fish to be caught still. So started on pellets, exactly the same as I've been catching here. That's me confidence thing at the minute. It's starting like I used to, flipping 10 years ago when we did a lot of F1 fishing. Starting with really dinky pellets, really, really heavy rigs. So I'm fishing like a 4B16s in 4 foot, just so I've got a great big shot close to me hook. I've started on that just at 13 metres, just where it flattened off at the bottom of the far slope, tapping in like 10 or 15 fishery pellets, tiny bit of ground bait. That seemed the key at Tunnel, is feeding this ground bait. Absolutely massive at the minute. And by being really, really patient, it became the same day that I've been having here, by having 2 lines in the same sort of depth, just fishing me tappy pellets. I did have a line across. That wasn't as good, it was a bit shallower there, it was about 3 foot. I could catch an odd one there, but mainly these 2 lines, rotating them all day, excuse me, I could get an odd bite. And I caught quite nice. I ended up with 30 fish for £30, 6 ounce or something, which was 5th on the lake. So the top 4 were opposite me on 38, 2, 5 and 7. They all caught, there was 2 50s in the middle, 2 30s either side of them. And then the rest of the lake, it was really close. It was all 20 odd pounds off every peg. And luckily I just got ahead of, I was best of the rest sort of thing. So I made up with that, did pretty much all I could do from that peg. Really enjoyed that. And then my last match to catch up on is my first individual winter league back here at Weston Pools. My winter home. I love coming here in the winter, mainly because it's got a lovely pub. There's not any walk into your pegs. It's nice and close, and it's only a 50-minute drive. But yeah, this is where I come in the winter. First round, I got really lucky last year, managed to win this league, so I wanted a really, really good start. But as I said, at Tunnel, the weather had plummeted the day before, a couple of days before. So coming here, They do it a bit different at Weston. They don't let you break the ice. So it's either cancelled or they've had the aerators on to stop it completely freezing up, which is what they've done. They put all the spinners and pushers and various aerators they have on site on just to keep the lakes ice free, which had done a phenomenal job of doing that. But what it had done, or what it does seem to do, is the fish don't want to be around them aerators when they've been on. I mean, you wouldn't, would you? It's freezing cold. It's like someone's turning a tap on. It just makes them move to weird areas of weird lakes. So the draw was going to be really, really important. And in the bag, I drew a really weird peg on that one I've never ever been on before, in the shape of 33 canal, which is in the middle bowl. It's like a square middle bowl of the canal. It's called the canal. The canal is like a horseshoe sort of shape, but it has this weird bowl in the middle. But really importantly, all these aerators are in the outside bit of the canal. They're in the canal section of the canal. There's no aerators in the bowl. So fancied it, got to me peg. There was a bit of ice on the lake, but didn't have to break it or anything. It was out the way. And I'm setting up and I've seen 10 fish top, which is weird. It was as if they were a shoal shoal of hide. And I kept seeing them top a bit, like 16 metres at the far end of my peg, but it made me really confident that there was some fish moving about. So they're moving. Come plumbing up. I've tried to plumb up. Didn't know how deep it was going to be. Spoke to Matty. So I've got a 6-foot rig on. And I've tried to drop it in my peg at 11 metres. I physically couldn't move my rig in my peg. There were that many fish there. It was ridiculous. I thought I was plumbing on a lily bed. Everywhere I've moved my rig's just holding up. Everywhere I put my rig. Yeah, standard Jamie peg sort of thing, Rich is saying. So there's a lot of fish there, really, really happy. But whether they'd feed or not is another thing. But because they're moving, I could see these high topping, I was quite confident. But still, it was never going to be good. I was never going to catch a load of fish. So I've set up 2 rigs on the deck. As soon as I felt them, I've stopped plumbing up. I've not bothered plumbing my lines up. I got a rough gauge of what it was going to be, but didn't plumb up. Just stopped trying to plumb up. Set up 2 dobbing rigs. Really, really delicate dobbing rigs. Like different, because I'm dobbing single maggots at about 3.5 foot. So it's weird. I mean, it's not like standard dobbing. You need, it's almost like shallow fishing. So I've got like a really little delicate carbon slim type float, one of our finesse slims. Really, really light. It's a 0.15. So it takes hardly anything. And I've just got 5 number 12 spread down my rig. But I'm flicking it in. It takes about 3 months to settle. But I'm getting an odd bite on it. I caught an F1 after probably 10 minutes. I caught an F1. And by searching my peg, flicking it all over the place, I could find these little balls of fish where I'd get like 5 or 6 bites. And then they'd scatter and go somewhere else, and I'd have to find them somewhere else. It's open water, so I've got no feature to sort of target, so it's very random trying to find them. And I spent my whole day doing that. I mean, not very exciting, but I was getting bites when the rest of the canal where the aerators were really, really, really struggling. So got away with that one. I ended up with 24.15, I think he had. He had about the same. I think he had 30 fish again. Very, very similar sort of amounts of fish. Just catching big skimmers, little hide, odd little F1s, all sorts. But I was able to dob for about 4 hours. I caught dobbing until it froze up last hour and wiped us out completely. But more importantly, it gave me 1 point. So I managed to win the canal, which is the perfect start to the league. So yeah, nothing too intensive to begin with yet this year, but a lovely start, a lovely finish to 2025. And I can't wait for it to get warmer already. I've had enough for winter. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.